Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room, where we talk all things comics and movies. This is episode number 5, where we're discussing the new Star Wars Canon. I'm one of your hosts, Tim, and joining me this evening, a very special guest host, the man behind the new Nerd Room logo, Troy. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me here, buddy. Appreciate it. Join the Nerd Room, guys.
So, by way of introduction, why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself, kind of give your nerd credentials, what you're reading, what you're looking forward to in 2016.
Awesome. Yeah, all right. Well, let's go. Introduction, I got into comics 2008, late 2008. My fiance sent me over from university the Back in Black series, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice.
Great series. Picked it up all in trade, and I've been going hard at it since. But I guess my first introduction was actually Conan the Barbarian. My older brother collected Conan the Marvel series, so I kind of sneaked up on those. And Civil War was my introduction to the Avengers.
Nice, yeah.
And I've been doing X-Men. X-Men's a little hard to get into, but I eventually got into it, and I love it. And now I'm a DC fanboy as well. I got Batman going on, Nightwing. I should say Grayson actually now. And yeah.
Yeah, you're one of the only ones I know that actually covers a full spectrum of comics. Like your pull list must be enormous.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's just getting more and more intense with the movies that come out. But I'm thirsty. I'm hungry for all the comics, so just let it keep coming.
Awesome,
movies
I love
and
it.
comics. Yeah,
I love it.
Absolutely.
So today, for the first time, we're recording in the actual Nerd Room down, I guess, version 2 of the Nerd Room. So we're surrounded completely by everything down here of Star Wars, Marvel, a bit of DC here and there.
Great aura.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. But I was kind of setting up down here the other day, and I finally opened the brand new 6-inch scale TIE Fighter with the elite TIE Fighter pilot in it, and oh my god, is it huge!
Incredible.
I picked it up, and I just burst out laughing because I could not believe how big the wings were. Oh man, what a piece though, what a piece. It has to sit on the floor, it doesn't sit on any table or anything. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's awesome, and I hope they continue. Maybe they bring a speeder bike or something else. Like, that would be sick.
Oh yeah, it's a great scale.
So you were at the comic book shop this past Wednesday, right?
Oh yes.
So I went in, and man, is the Canadian dollar it's killing us.
It's killer.
Well,
Holy smokes.
I got them to print me off an actual itemized receipt, because I went up with 3 or 4 books, and she tells me it's $21 or something. I was like, what is going on? So we're paying right now up in Canada, we're paying $5.87 Canadian per book, and that's just for your standard issue, weekly ongoing comic or monthly ongoing comic. Yep. So we're getting absolutely crushed. But one thing I want to throw out there, the comic shops, I don't think they take a ton of pleasure in charging us that much.
Definitely not.
But I want to make sure everyone still gets out there and supports them. It's like we were talking a couple episodes back about maybe tighten up the belt, tighten up the pull list a bit. But continue to go out there and support those comic book shops, because especially some of the smaller ones, because if they don't have the customers coming in, they're going to disappear.
Yeah.
And we don't want that, because sometimes they're the only ones that bring in, particularly in Canada. They're the only ones that bring in kind of some of the Black Series, some of the Legends.
The Selects.
Exactly. Some of the Hot Toys and that.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we don't have any way of getting those.
Yeah. Good luck finding DC collectibles anywhere else but your local comic shop.
Yeah, and that's what Sanjay is having a real hard time. He's trying to collect the B vs. S stuff, and he can't find it anywhere.
It's tough, yeah.
There's a small end rack at Toys R Us that has a few DC things, but other than that, there's nothing around.
No. Yeah, so keep going out there and supporting those guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, shall we press on with some news here? Secret Wars.
Oh boy.
I've been banging on for weeks about how this needs to end, because I'm on this huge hiatus from reading Marvel comics. Lucky Star Wars is filling that gap in a bit. But we finally got, the 9th and final issue of Secret Wars. What did you think? Was it worth the wait?
It delivered. It was great. I was fully on board from issue 1. I loved all the spin-off series going on to the whole event itself, but issue 9 delivers in a big way, I believe. The art's been pretty great for the most part.
Oh yeah, I'd have to agree there. The art has been killer. Through that whole Hickman series, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the art's been great. I love Black Panther being able to shine. With the Infinity Gauntlet, I just thought that was great. There's some really good fight sequences, actually, in this comic book.
Yeah, especially the last 3 episodes when they really got into fighting God Doom there. Unreal. And Black Panther has probably had some of the best scenes in the last 2 issues.
Yes.
Just killer.
He's been great. We get to see Thing / AKA The Wall go up against Galactus.
Unreal.
It's just been great.
I'm going to say spoilers because for anyone that hasn't read it yet, maybe jump ahead a minute or two because I'm going to kind of explain a bit of the end here and kind of some of the fallout from it. So just to avoid kind of spoiling anyone. So essentially, we see Reed confront Dr. Doom finally. And with the help of Molecule Man and some others like Black Panther has a big scene in there, which is unreal. With the Infinity Gauntlet.
Of course. Just great.
Yeah. And so essentially Reed ends up with Doom's powers.
Yeah.
Molecule Man transfers them over. And essentially he looks like he's restored Earth.
Yeah. The multiverse.
Yeah, the multiverse. They're spinning out universes that Franklin's basically thinking up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I guess 616 is gone, dead.
It's gone. I think they referred to it as Prime Earth.
Yeah, Prime Earth. So I don't know if it's Prime Earth or Prime Universe.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's where the 616 continuity sits.
Exactly.
It doesn't seem to be like this reboot that we got at DC, the New 52.
Right.
So I don't know and I haven't read anything beyond this. So I don't know if people remember the secret whole Battleworld thing.
Yeah, we don't really necessarily know. I've been reading Amazing Spider-Man #1 and ongoing since Secret Wars here, and I believe it's just an 8-month gap. So they don't really...
Hickman likes those 8-month gaps.
Yeah, something about that.
But it looks like Fantastic Four done.
Wiped out.
Yeah. So the characters will still be around, it looks like. I think Johnny's going to Avengers, things with the Guardians.
That's right.
Not sure about Reed and Sue, but it looks like they're going to be around to some degree.
To some degree. At least until Marvel gets the movie rights back.
I think they're putting a lot of pressure there. So, I agree, man. Having been committed to this right from essentially the start of Hickman's New Avengers run, the payout for me was great. And like you said, the Black Panther scenes are some of my favorite.
Just epic.
And one of the scenes, I'm really curious going forward into the new continuity here, not really new continuity, into the new books. One of my favorite villains got his spine ripped out.
Yes, I want to talk to you about that. Yeah, okay.
And that was like, and I'm going to say it here, so spoilers. Yeah. That was the Thanos from the 616 universe.
It was, yep.
So I don't know what's going to happen there. Like, presumably everyone that died is coming back to some degree.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm a bit worried that we're going to, because there's the Thanos that was in the Infinity Gauntlet series.
Oh, okay, that was a different Thanos.
I think so. maybe not, but he was chasing an Infinity Gauntlet in that series, so I think it was a different Thanos.
Okay.
Maybe not. But hopefully he comes back, or I'm going to be completely heartbroken.
I hope so, especially in time for the movies coming out. I mean, you gotta have that guy present.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, interestingly enough, spinning out of the death of a villain, Marvel teased. They had this real cryptic image that they put out late last week, and all it said on it was "Dead No More."
That's right.
Very reminiscent of the Spider-Man No More.
That's right. That's a good call. Yes.
So, there's been a lot of people chucking around different ideas of what this could be.
Yeah, could it be Uncle Ben? Could it be Gwen Stacy? Could it be Wolverine?
Yeah, Xavier's another one that was chucked out there.
Yeah.
Even going into the Guardians realm, maybe Marvel.
Right, the original, right?
Yeah, exactly. He was briefly resurrected in AVX, and then subsequently died that same issue.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Nothing else has really been associated with it, but Civil War, they're teasing a death, and now they're teasing bringing back someone from the dead.
Resurrection, right.
Sometimes I think maybe it would be good to keep Wolverine dead for a couple of years.
I would say so, especially Old Man Logan was a hit. I'm sure all you guys out there that read Old Man Logan, Secret Wars, no complaints there. And the Old Man Logan that we have now in the new series, Prime Earth, he's a hit. He's great.
Yeah, it's good. I didn't read it, but I know you've been begging me to read it for a while. All right, so this past week they announced the Oscars.
Yes.
The Oscar noms.
Yes, exciting times.
Yeah, so it's interesting. The Reverend got a whole ton of noms. Mad Max also. So it's good to see a different type of movie getting a bit of love from the Oscars, from the Academy. I'm happy to see that. So those are the two biggest. And then, Force Awakens got
5 noms.
So that's great. Usually because that's in visual effects and sound editing and that.
Yep.
I was hoping to see maybe, an original screenplay nom, or do you think the group, not just for the Force Awakens, but for some of the other movies, because how the Golden Globes does, there's that kind of weird comedy and musical section, and then there's the drama one, which have all the big heavy hitters in it.
Heavy hitters, yeah.
Do you think they need to split and have kind of more of an all-encompassing kind of awards? I don't know, something similar to that comedy, but maybe, I don't know, action or something like that?
It would be nice. It would be nice if they did have something like that. You know, you're basically saying like an action segment.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know, something that you can see, because like the 4 biggest movies of the year, other than visuals and sound editing, don't get anything. And,
exactly.
You know, is that right? You know, I guess it comes down to maybe the Oscars are kind of your upper echelon of
That's
nominations. So
yeah.
you get, I guess there's other awards spread across kind of the industry that give, you know, the best movie to, you know, Star Wars or something like that. So maybe that's more fan kind of people choice stuff.
Especially even when you look at the Golden Globes, their comedy music, it's just a title, but it's really still drama. I mean, they had The Martian in there.
Yeah.
You know, not a comedy at all.
No, everyone was blown away by it. Yeah. That's a great movie. I just watched it this past weekend.
It's great. Oh, I'm glad you saw it. Yeah, it's awesome.
So good. Matt Damon's fantastic.
He's great. One of my favorite Matt Damon roles actually ever. I liked it. Yeah.
And being that it was him on the screen for the majority of the movie, right? Like he holds his own in there.
Oh yeah, he's great.
And yeah, it's a really good movie. You know, I'd definitely go and run and check
go
that
out there
out.
and see it. Absolutely.
So Marvel TV.
Oh yeah.
You know, we've been talking a bit about this through the last couple episodes, but you know, again, they keep feeding us information, and we're only a couple weeks away now, or a month and a half away from Daredevil season 2.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the main antagonist in there, or at least the way they're leading us, is Punisher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're talking about a Punisher standalone spin-off.
Oh yeah, bring it on.
I think that would be sick. You know, we haven't seen much other than a few photos, but I can imagine, you know, John Berthel's going to kill it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's what a month that is too. Batman v Superman, Daredevil. Basically, I won't be leaving the house for a while though. So
it's Daredevil for a few hours, you know, here and there, kind of splitting it up, and then Batman vs Superman, then come back and maybe finish up with some Daredevil.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell of a week.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great.
Hell of a week. And also Jessica Jones. They officially announced season 2.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. So that's, you know, again, another fantastic series. Glad to see them. Those Netflix series getting some love and renewed seasons and that. So good to see. And they're even already talking Daredevil season 3.
Oh wow, that's great.
So you know, it's great to see this. And then we have the whole Defenders.
That's the lead up, right?
Yeah, basically like the Avengers-esque crossover. So I think it's 13 episodes. So I think they're going to start to shoot that within the next year or two.
Makes sense, right?
So kind of getting these, you know, for lack of a better term, all these heroes assembling into a single. So I think that's going to be another big one.
That'll be great. Are we doing any predictions or anything with the Daredevil, you think? Or
yeah, I think what we should do, we should maybe in another episode down the road, and then I think we're going to have to review the whole thing. So we're going to have to binge watch this over
again.
Over a whole weekend.
Fine by me.
So that we can get an episode out, you know, not too long after actually Daredevil drops. All right, so let's get into the new to nerd for this week. We're talking comic book variants. And that's really, so we're going to segue a bit from our discussion last week. And we're briefly going to we're just going to kind of run through the highlights of basically variant covers or variant issues, what they are, how they're collected, you know, why we see such a wide range in price on some of these. Some of these get outrageously priced.
Oh yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
More often than not, especially in this day and age as far as comics, you know, we're getting multiple printed covers of a single issue. You know, I think, what was the Star Wars #1? Like, it must have had like 100 different covers.
It was huge. I don't know what was bigger, Star Wars #1 or Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns 3 #1. They're both up there. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's nuts. And, you know, some people actually go out and try to collect all these.
Yeah.
And some of these are brutally expensive.
Hefty, absolutely, yeah.
And, you know, the real reason they're expensive is basically comes down to exclusivity. Mm-hmm. So comic book shops, I guess the way they're ordering as a way of kind of promotion or incentive to buy more comics from the publisher or the distributor. Mm-hmm. Essentially what they have is there'll be, to get a variant cover, you need to buy at least 10 issues. And then for every 10 issues, you get a single variant cover for that. But some of these are 1 in every 200 issues.
Yeah, which is...
So when you're looking at particularly small comic book shops, you know, they're not going to buy 200 issues. They're not going to be able to put that out. They're not going to be able to sell all those, right?
They're going to break even with that. Yeah.
And so that's why you're seeing some of these variant covers going for, you know, $100, $200, you know.
To cover the other end. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's sometimes it's difficult to actually collect these.
Yeah.
You know, and we see huge variety of them. The Star Wars have the action figures covers.
Yeah. Secret Wars had the action figures, and now Deadpool and Spider-Man have action figure variants. There's a bunch going around.
Yeah, and you've been collecting the hip-hop covers, right?
Yes, I've been collecting, at least on the Spider-Man side and Spidey side, I've been collecting the hip-hop covers. Pretty neat.
It's cool. Some of those images are cool. I don't understand. I don't know all the covers, so I can't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But you know, some of the art looks pretty good on them.
They're pretty cool. I would like to see. I'd like to see them even go like, you know, a cool rock and roll route, to see like a cool, I don't know, Led Zeppelin kind of cover or something would be pretty neat. There's lots you could do with them.
Oh yeah, and and that's it, right? It's collecting and going there. You're hitting at a very niche market.
Yeah.
To a degree. Some people exclusively collect variants, and then I don't really collect variants, but I often get sucked in sometimes.
Absolutely.
There's some retro Guardians of the Galaxy ones they were doing a couple years ago, and I just love the look of them. So I was like, okay, here's my $25 for the issue I bought a week ago.
Oh, a week ago, yeah, and they get you. Yeah, they get you.
But that's one key thing to highlight, I think, is the issue inside is the exact same.
Exactly.
So all that's different is the cover.
Exactly. It's the inside that counts, guys. It's the inside that counts.
Yeah, exactly. The whole story is the same.
Yeah.
And some cool things they're doing with the collector's court boxes. So it's a subscription box.
That's right. You were telling me about this briefly. Yeah.
You get variant covers in there. So they're pretty exclusive, although they probably go out to 20,000, 30,000, if not more people.
Wow.
But still, you get kind of this kind of cool variant cover within them. And that's really the only variants I get.
Yeah.
I'm not a big spender. I kind of like having the continuous collection of the main first printed cover art.
Yeah, keep consistent.
Yeah, because also when you get the second and third printings,
yeah.
you get slightly different covers. Usually just tweaks in the coloring.
Yeah, maybe even black or white. DC had a good one going on, I think, last year with movie covers, actually. So Aquaman had a Free Willy kind of image going on, and
yeah, I do remember those. Those are pretty sick.
It's pretty neat. I think Batgirl had Purple Rain. So for all you Prince fans out there, pretty neat.
Was there who was it that just died?
In the comics?
No. In real life.
Oh, Bowie.
Was there a Bowie cover at all?
I would think there would be. I suppose, with that famous image of the lightning bolt on his face. I think there might have been.
Yeah, there must have been. That one would probably be a good one to pick up.
That would have been a really cool one to pick up.
Pay a little homage to someone that's recently passed.
Yeah.
Losing one of the greats.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, I think that wraps it up. That kind of gives just a little bit of insight into, maybe why some of these are expensive, the fact that a little more niche collecting, and, all in all, you have to love the cover art.
Oh, yeah, you do.
To get into these. If you're going to be willing to pay the money for them. But, you have to say, some of that stuff is incredible. Especially when you get up to like the 100 plus variant covers in Star Wars.
Couldn't even imagine.
All right, man. So, shall we kind of move on to the main topic of the podcast this week?
Sounds good.
So we're going to be talking the new Star Wars canon. Recently with the Disney purchase, essentially all the EU rebranded, I guess, not wiped out, but rebranded as the Legends
series. That's right. Yeah.
So, I know a lot of people were pretty heartbroken.
Yeah.
Over them kind of dismantling or rebranding that overall series. Have you read much of it?
I am familiar with it. I can't say I've actually read the novels, but I'm familiar. The whole Chewbacca being killed by a moon to the twins. Thrawn, obviously, what a big deal he is, right? So it's a good move, though. It makes sense for a marketing point of view, right? You got a lot of newcomers you're trying to introduce, and those stories will always be there, whether they're canon or not. So
exactly, I think they're really trying to free up some space there, right?
Exactly.
There's a huge amount of material from Return of the Jedi, way forward, and particularly focusing on the main characters, right? So without wiping that clean, or at least rebranding it, there's no way that they can tell these stories.
Exactly.
And, maintain, essentially the bounds and the limitations that other authors have put on these characters as far as their overall arcs and storylines through post-Return of the Jedi.
Exactly.
But I think one thing that we want people to keep in mind, Jared, there's an absolute ton of material.
Holy smokes.
In, the old Star Wars EU. And neither of us have read anywhere near all of it, or even a little bit of it. So we're just going to kind of go through and touch on some highlights of some of the major stories, looking back at some of the Marvel comics, a few novels. I've read the Thrawn trilogy, one of my favorites. Maybe touch on that a little bit.
Cool.
And then really kind of look at that a little bit to see what we had before, and then we'll go into a bit more depth and detail with the new canon itself. So like I was saying, we've kind of dipped in and out of the Legends series itself. But, this was something that was immensely popular with the Star Wars community. A lot of people had a ton of time invested into this, into the characters. And, even up until a couple of years ago, we were still getting EU action figures, right?
That's right, yeah.
So, Darth Plagueis sitting right there.
Yeah.
And they had the Mara Jade
action figure. What a cool character. Yeah.
And those are some of the big hitters. I know Plagueis was mentioned in Revenge of the Sith, but he's really fleshed out a bit. There's a Darth Plagueis book not too long ago.
Yeah, that's right.
He's fleshed out a bit more him and his relationship with Palpatine and that. So, these are some beloved characters that unfortunately, Disney had to basically take out of continuity. To a degree, I was really hoping we'd see some of these characters in The Force Awakens, or at least hint towards them.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping, maybe in the future that, because we went so far past Return of the Jedi with The Force Awakens, that maybe we'll get some hints of these characters if they're going to tell stories in between. Maybe there is room for, Thrawn to show up, and, maybe there's room for Mara Jade. Yeah. Don't know.
Dash Rendar. Give me Dash Rendar.
Yeah.
Awesome character.
I think one thing that, I don't know if a lot of people know that, is that George Lucas, or Lucasfilm, I guess, held the creative control rights for everything that was published in Star Wars, in the whole EU and all that.
Oh, okay.
And they had a division that actually kept track, sort of this.
Oh, okay. Continuity.
Right. And to not kind of conflict with the development of the prequels.
Wow.
So a lot of that time frame was kind of off limits for you writers. So that's why you see, some novelization, video games are going way back to the Old Republic.
Right. Thousands and thousands of years behind.
And you see them kind of going forward from Return of the Jedi.
That's right.
But the EU itself, so it kind of came into existence, I guess, in 78. So there's the original Marvel Comics run, which I spoke a bit about on kind of, I think, our first episode, where I managed to kind of snag bits and pieces of this at a comic sale for like $2 an issue.
That's awesome.
But so in 77, Marvel Comics had a 6-issue run that was an adaptation of A New Hope. And I think this was kind of just like a promotional thing, and essentially just basically retold A New Hope in the comic books. So originally this was turned down by everyone. They went to DC, Marvel, all that.
Oh,
and even Stan Lee turned it down. And finally they picked it up and were sold on it. And it ended up being kind of this massive hit for Marvel.
Yeah.
And it really saved them, I guess, from financial ruin. So this series ended up running 107 issues.
Wow.
3 big annuals over, I think, maybe almost close to 10 years, maybe? Something like that. Yeah, so it's quite a run that they had.
And then Dark Horse came over later, and
that was in the early 90s.
Okay.
They picked up when Marvel, I don't know if they relinquished the license or if they lost the license, I don't know how it worked.
Right.
But anyways, Dark Horse picked it up. Kind of in a time when we're seeing, I guess, really an explosion of the novelization, really, the EU novelization, because in the early 90s you had the Thrawn trilogy come out. And so that was by Timothy Zahn. And wow, what a run. Even though it's not canon or whatever, I'd still go back and check that out.
Yeah, that's why here it's highly recommended.
The characterization of the original characters, and then you've got this great antagonist in Thrawn, and then you get introduction of characters that are really carried right through the EU. And, this in particular, this and maybe Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which was like really the first big novelization. Those are the only 2 kind of big books I've read in the EU, with the exception of some of the comics. Yeah. Like you're saying, like Dark Horse, they came and picked it up in the early 90s, and they had hundreds and hundreds of issues. They brought back Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's right.
Back into continuity. Yeah. So after he flew into the Sarlacc pit. They ended up bringing him back. And then, it's really from there on, I think there's something like over 1,000 issues of Star Wars comics. And I'm assuming like hundreds of novels.
Oh yeah, there's a grip full out there.
And Dark Horse kind of ran with this up until the purchase of Disney. Yeah. There's a series right at the end of Dark Horse's run called just Star Wars, and it was set between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only Dark Horse series that I collected straight through.
Right.
And it was kind of the first time that I think Dark Horse played around in that era with some degree of fluidity and control over the characters, which is pretty neat. And this is the same gap that the new series is filling.
It's covering now.
Yeah, that's Vader, right. Star Wars, Leia.
That's right.
All that, and even some of the new books.
That's right. I actually did pick up some Dark Horse towards the end of the run too. I believe it's called Dawn of the Jedi. So this is going thousands of years back of the brink of the Jedis, and it's pretty interesting. I think I picked up about 10 issues. I guess I kind of lost interest, but the art was great, and the first couple of issues were pretty solid there.
Yeah. So that was almost like you were saying. It was from a marketing standpoint and a standpoint of people getting back into Star Wars novels
Yeah.
and comics and that. There's so much there that even, people that like you and I that love Star Wars, love reading comics, love getting into the books.
Yeah.
It was the barrier for entry was just too high.
Yeah, where do you start? Where do you go? Right?
Exactly. You almost had to pick a very, very small era and just read there.
Exactly.
And at least now, to some degree, with the new canon, we have the ability to jump into things and kind of focus on basically from the Phantom Menace to the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
We can hopefully keep up with some.
Yeah. Hopefully at this rate. Yeah.
It's already looking hard.
Yeah. Funny fact, actually, Dark Horse did, I believe when Disney got the rights back, Clone Wars ended, or the Clone Wars ended. So instead, the last I think they had the last story arc that they fit into a comic book, which was produced by Dark Horse, and it's a Darth Maul comic book. Can't remember the title, but it is actually still considered canon to this day. They actually have it in there. Yeah,
I saw that last night, and I was really confused. I was looking at kind of some of the gaps in the new continuity, and I was like, I don't remember them putting a Darth Maul book out recently. That's right. And so why is that still canon? Is it because it ties to the Clone Wars?
It does tie to the Clone Wars, and I guess Clone Wars is still canon technically.
Awesome. So I think that's a great segue actually into talking a bit about, or not a bit, kind of in quite a bit of detail here, the new Star Wars canon.
Yes.
So we're going to give kind of like a high level overview of some of the stuff and a bit deeper detail on some of the stuff that we've read, some of the comics, some of the novels, and even into the TV shows.
Cool.
So we're going to look at everything kind of outside of the main movies.
Awesome.
Maybe touch a bit on where, Rogue One, maybe the Han Solo series are actually going to fall in. So we're going to kind of swing through this chronologically. And I guess really, Phantom Menace is where we start.
That's where we start. That's where it begins. Yeah.
There's nothing else before that.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see. I wonder if they're going to go back and kind of retread some of that.
Yeah, there's so much they could possibly do back there, right?
And it's interesting that they kind of blew all that away because I really don't think they're going to concentrate on that era that much.
No.
It seems that they're going to stay from basically Phantom Menace through to The Force Awakens.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
It seems that way.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of authors maybe getting a little more liberty in kind of that area with some characters and retelling maybe some of these classic stories for kind of modernizing them a bit or updating them a bit and fitting them into the main canon here a bit more. But like something that happens like the Old Republic and stuff that has some consequences, I guess.
Yeah.
But realistically, on the era they're focusing on for the movies,
yeah,
which is in and around kind of the original trilogy, it seems, I don't think there's that much effect.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, if they could go back with these anthology films and give us an Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic and give us Darth Revan, because is he ever a great Sith or Jedi character. So that would be great to see. But yeah, I basically think the focus is, Phantom Menace, the prequels, and up. And I guess it's a Skywalker story. So
exactly.
They kind of stick within that realm.
When we were looking at the canon, like I mentioned before, Lucasfilm had and now has again this entire department that looks, with a fine-tooth comb, I guess, at these characters to make sure that, the novelizations, the comics and that don't step on any toes. Exactly. As far as stories they're going to tell in the future in the movies and that. So I'd imagine there's quite wide boundaries on some of these eras so that they're not picking up stories like young Han Solo or stuff kind of for the Rogue One. And then also there's that time zone in Rebels now that we're starting to get comics.
Yes, I think it's about 4 years before New Hope.
So like if you go on and look at, Star Wars canon, everything will be relative as far as timing to the Battle of Yavin.
Yes.
So at the end of A New Hope there, kind of the blowing up of the first Death Star, that's considered kind of the 0 point.
Yes, exactly.
For the Star Wars universe or the canonical universe. And so every time you'll see kind of BBY before the Battle of Yavin or ABY after the Battle of Yavin, and everything's kind of relative to that. I think for simplicity, maybe when we're going through these, we should just kind of say, relative to the closest movie.
Right. Yeah, good point.
Because, if we're talking like, 20 to 14 years BBY, and then we're going 30 to 38 years ABY, I think it might get a bit confusing for people. But just like examples, like Empire was 3 years after the Battle of Yavin, Jedi's 4, Force Awakens I think is 32?
32 after Yavin, I'd say,
So, something kind of like that. So, starting from Phantom Menace, the first kind of chronologically, I guess, canon series that we have is the new Obi-Wan and Anakin series.
Yes.
So I guess that's right after Phantom Menace, right?
Yeah, it's about, Anakin looks like he's about 14, 15. So I guess what's Anakin in the first
10
one?
maybe? Yeah.
So about 4 years later. Yeah.
So I haven't picked it up.
Yeah.
Probably grabbed the first issue. I haven't heard much about it.
No, it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's not really an era that I'd really focus on, but it's I guess it's a period that hasn't been many stories told in it.
No.
At least that I'm really aware of. And it's kind of cool that it's kind of in comic form.
Yeah.
So
Art's great in that.
Yeah. Look, I kind of flipped through the page in there. So I think, the issues are probably dropping every 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
might be a fun series to get into and to see that early development of this kind of, if it's almost a father-son relationship or more of a brother relationship as it kind of turned out to be at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So might be kind of cool to check that out. And then I guess going through chronologically, right after that, there's not much there, and then we have Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
And then falling right on after that
oh boy,
is the Clone Wars TV
Holy,
series.
which one do you want, the Clone Wars or Clone Wars? Gosh. Yeah.
It's what is there, like
121 episodes.
You powered through them, didn't you?
I powered through a good chunk of them. Not in order, not until I went to Google and saw the complete order you're meant to watch it in. So
I didn't realize that until you're talking about that. There's some weird kind of order that you're supposed to watch.
Yeah, for some reason when Netflix got it, they didn't release it in the proper order. So for all you guys out there, when you do check it out, when you get the time, make sure you can go to Star Wars official website and they have the whole layout there for you. You can just Google it.
Was it aired in the right order? Or is it kind of...
the TV show was aired in the right order,
okay.
I believe. After the movie they released, the Clone Wars movie.
Okay,
there's the animated short movie there. But yeah, Netflix, for some reason, whatever happened, they never released it in the proper order. So.
That's why I was a bit confused, because I started watching on Netflix, and there's kind of... The episodes seem all over
all
the
over the place, right? Yeah.
And I thought it was just like, maybe they're focusing on some characters here, some characters there.
Yeah, switching around.
Yeah, so that's a huge time commitment.
Yeah, 121 episodes, 6.5 seasons, I believe. The sixth season didn't really get fleshed out due to Disney buying them out there.
And so they completely severed that, right? After Disney bought them, they just kind of abruptly ended that, and then they got kind of the lost episodes, or the I can't remember how they titled it.
Yeah, they had some lost episodes, and then they still had stories for all you guys out there that know who Ventress is, the Sith Lord / bounty hunter. They transferred her into a book as well, and then they gave you that Darth Maul book that we were talking about before with Dark Horse. So.
Is there kind of, could you go into it? Do you have to really watch it from, I guess, season 1, or would you kind of, is there like a good jumping on point where you don't really need this backstory? You can just kind of go from season 3 where it's really good, or is there a better season than others? There's
definitely better seasons than others. I think season 3 and 4 are pretty strong. For you Old Republic guys out there, they talk a lot about the Mandalorians, which is pretty interesting. You get to see Obi-Wan even has a love interest, so that's pretty interesting. But I guess the jump on point would be just season 1. You can skip the cartoon movie, the animated movie.
I heard it's not that great.
It's not that good. I saw it in theaters.
I think I have seen it.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. But a good jump on point where I just go from season 1, 2, and 3. You can go through the whole thing fairly quick. They're about 20
you just need to get your appendix out, eh?
Yeah, you just need to go out there and drop that appendix.
Oh, man.
Buys you about 2 months. So.
Yeah. 3 or 4 days on the couch, the sympathy bedtime.
Oh, yeah. Get yourself some Jessica Jones, some Daredevil. Make it happen.
Yeah, that's what you do. It's going to cut one of your organs out. Then after the Clone Wars series, we got Kanan. The comic series, Last Padawan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not super familiar with Kanan. He's in Rebels, right?
He is in Rebels, grown up. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the story of him Revenge of the Sith, so pre-Order 66.
Yeah, I can't really spoil anything. I myself haven't really read it much, but I believe it's just a little after Order 66 was executed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he's quite important in the Rebels series.
Yes.
So this is going back and I guess telling his days as a Padawan and kind of growing up. Again, this isn't a big area I focus in on. I'm kind of, original trilogy and really post original trilogy.
For sure. I'm just going to probably pick them up on trade and the volumes.
Yeah. And some of these will read better, I think, as trades.
Exactly.
Kind of getting the whole continuity of the story. And usually they'll do the 6-issue arcs and stuff like that. And some of them even, some of the recent ones are just 5 or 6 issue miniseries. So it's pretty cool to pick these up. I think Kanan's an ongoing.
Yep. Or actually, no, I just spoke to my local guy, Alpha Comics out there, and they're actually going to end it fairly soon.
Okay.
It is ending, yeah.
Okay, so it mustn't be doing too great.
Yeah.
So,
Couldn't tell you. There's a lot of Kanan fans out there, though, I know, for the Rebel series.
Yeah. So he's quite popular, I guess. Yeah. And is he the one that's voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
I've seen a bit of Rebels. I have been meaning to get into it, particularly the second season.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, watch the trailer for the Winter Break premiere. Oh, man.
So, yeah, I guess we got Kanan kind of interspersed a bit with Revenge of the Sith. So some before, some after.
Yeah.
And then we have Revenge of the Sith film, where we have Order 66 being executed, wiping out most of the Jedi.
Yeah, younglings.
And then this era post Revenge of the Sith is when we're starting to get really the bulk of the new material.
Yes.
So the novels, some comics, the Rebels TV series, video games as well.
Oh, yeah.
So the first one kind of coming out of the gates is Lords of the Sith.
Oh, wow.
So
what a book.
This is a book that Troy gave me for surviving my first year as a father.
Congratulations.
So I still haven't gotten into it.
Yeah.
But I know you've read it and you have nothing but good things to say.
Nothing but good things. Paul S. Kemp is the author of this book, and he just does a great job. He gives you the Vader we've all wanted in episode 3.
Just relentless.
Just relentless, powerful. But you kind of feel for him in some parts too, right? So he's not just all bad. But yeah, it's a great book. Everybody should go out there and pick it up. This is a great novel. Yeah. So
just looking at the book right here, at the cover here, we got Vader, got the Emperor, and you can see some AT-ATs, and looks like they're just mowing down some rebel soldiers here. So we got good fight scenes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They, without giving away anything, but the premise is they've crash landed on a planet, Ryloth. So, which is cool because Ryloth is actually also in the Clone Wars there. So there are some tie-ins. They do a great job of tying things in there, even with episode 3. But it's basically Vader and Palpatine to fend for themselves. So,
oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's great.
You said you listened to this in audiobook
yes,
too, right?
Yeah, I went through it all through Audible. Yeah, and it's even better through Audible because they give you the music. Regardless of what people think about the prequels, John Williams, he does a great score. And so there's some of that music in here as well.
And, I've said it before, and I think you're on the same page as me here. I'm not a hater of the prequel at all.
Yeah, definitely
not. There's some issues and stuff like that, but, you can compress some of this. But getting Vader's story out there.
Oh, yeah.
And, Revenge of the Sith of the 3 is my favorite.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree.
We're starting to see the real development of Vader. And, seeing in these books now that we're kind of getting even more fleshing out of the character.
Yes.
I'd be curious. I don't know if they're going to go back and revisit this era in kind of film.
Yeah, I think the closest we're going to get from here on in is Rogue One.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably about as close. That's the last shot we'll get of Darth Vader on the big screen, I'd say.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah. I really hope that they go back and maybe revisit some of this because you could really adapt something like this.
Yeah,
and you don't have to have your other big characters. You don't have to talk about Obi-Wan or Yoda or anything like that. They're gone. They're in exile or whatever.
Yeah,
you can just focus on Darth Vader.
Yeah,
you can bring in a young Tarkin.
Oh yeah,
you can bring in some of the characters that you see kind of in the late stages or the early stages of A New Hope, kind of sitting around, kind of that more like very Nazi-esque sort of looking officers and that.
You could.
So it'd be cool to kind of explore that area and like having Vader just as your pull and kind of exploring his, maybe his pain and suffering, similar to what we saw in The Force Awakens with, is he being pulled a little bit towards the light or is he just pure evil?
Oh, all in here. It's all in here.
Yeah.
Everything you just said, it's all in. It's all in this book.
Okay, I gotta get into this. So that's next up on the Audible list.
Awesome.
I just got through one of the books we'll talk about in a few minutes here, The Aftermath. So
great.
And again, filling out this, like I was saying, we're getting a lot of novelization of Star Wars in this era. So we get, like I just mentioned Tarkin, so we get a novel focusing on Tarkin a bit. And he's, in A New Hope, he's kind of what seems to be Grand Moff Tarkin, so he's one of the big leaders.
Huge.
He seems, Leia refers to him as pulling Vader's leash, so he's quite high up there.
He's high up. He's even in the Clone Wars too, actually.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of him. Yeah, he's a little bit in there too, yeah.
And then we have novel New Dawn.
Yes.
So I guess this is a prequel novel to Rebels.
Yes.
A bit, yeah.
Yes, because Hera,
right,
she's in there as well as Kanan. And sorry to bring it back, but Hera's dad is also in. He's actually the main protagonist.
Cool.
In Lords of the Sith.
Oh, so we've got some nice ties already between these books.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that they're weaving kind of this constant thread of continuity through this already. But it kind of makes me worried because it's like, oh crap, I got to get out here and read a whole bunch of stuff.
To know what's going on before you get into Rebels. Right?
And the crazy thing too about the Audible stuff is it's like 17 or 18 hours of committed time. Sometimes it's hard to find, just that. So I listen to the Audible stuff now when I'm in the gym, driving to work, on the train, stuff like that.
I try and find anything I can do to listen to it.
Sometimes I'll just find an excuse to go driving. So where are you going? I don't know. Just driving so that I can listen to these things sometimes and catch up, because it's hard.
It is.
And like we're saying, with all this stuff coming out, it's so difficult to keep up with it all.
It really is.
I've picked a certain era, which is, like I said a couple times here, is post Return of the Jedi.
Right.
And I know you really love this era too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool, but you talk to other people about it and they get you all jacked up. It's kind of like, well, now I got to expand. This is my constant peril when it comes to anything Marvel, Star Wars. I'm like, okay, I'm focusing on one thing here, and then someone says, you gotta check this out, or have you seen these action figures? Have you seen this poster? Have you seen this? Try out the Elite series. Try out the 3¾ inch series, which I told myself I'm not doing anymore. And I'm looking at the shelf right now, and I got
everything on there.
Figure.
Oh yeah, holy smokes! You put it on your Instagram page. That is incredible.
Yeah. So, but so I'm gonna jump directly into this now.
Yeah.
Looking at a good Vader story, and if you recommend this as a great Vader story,
it is. It's ranked number 1 there, guys, on my list. It's number 1, absolutely.
Right on. And I got another novel called Lost Stars, which, to be honest with you, I didn't really look as to what it was, but it's out there.
Yeah, Lost Stars. Yeah, that's a great one. That's what I'm reading right now.
Oh, are you? Okay.
It's big. It's 35 chapters.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's pretty hefty. That's Claudia Gray. She's the writer for this one. She's great. She's also doing Bloodlines next. I think that comes out February. I could be wrong, but I think it comes out sometime there. Yeah, so again, Claudia Gray, she does Lost Stars, which is a great book so far. It's long, a lot of time to invest in. But again, great read. I'd rank that number 2 on my list so far. So,
right on.
Yeah.
And so following that, I guess it's not really exactly known, but chronologically, I guess the young Han Solo film is going to fit in here somewhere
between
kind of Lost Stars and kind of this era that we're talking about and Rogue One.
Yeah,
I guess pre-Rebel series as well.
Right. Because I guess with Lost Stars, it expands throughout the whole universe. So it goes from beginning of the Galactic Empire, so the rise of it, and it's gone through episodes 4 and 5 and 6. So it expands throughout the whole story, basically, without giving anything away. But
that's good to know. So it kind of interfingers chronologically through a lot of this stuff. So
more tie-ins.
Great. Now I have to get to that one. And then we got Battlefront, Twilight Company, another novel. And I guess because there's the video game Battlefront 2 is right. Have you played it?
Haven't played it. I've seen it. It looks great, but I need story. And I guess it's there's no campaign. I guess it's all multiplayer. So, So I'll sit back and read the book for this one.
Yeah, because I guess if there's no story in it, there's no tie. So at some point in there, there's. I don't know if it's like an add-on to the video game or whatever, but it's, I guess, like talking about the Battle of Jakku.
That's right. Way. So I guess the book explains the Battle of Jakku and why we see the AT-ATs, I believe. Why we
and then it's the Star Destroyer and the Sand X.
That's right.
So when did that battle happen? Is that like pre-Rogue One, or is that... I always thought this was like the last battle of the Galactic Empire, like even post-Return of the Jedi.
That's what I thought as well.
Okay, so maybe it jumps around a bit.
Yeah, it might jump around a little bit, because I'm a little confused, because I do... Well, I won't go there, but because I don't want to give everything away. But yeah, I'm not too sure exactly where that fits in the timeline.
Okay, yeah. Because I assume that Jakku was kind of the last breath of the Empire, and that was the last big battle.
Exactly.
But maybe not, I don't know.
Exactly, yeah.
The next up we got Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
The TV series. So again, I watched the was it Spawn of the Rebellion or Dawn? What is it? I can't remember. Kind of the first basically 2 episodes. They
combined this together. Was it season 1 or season 2?
Yeah, season 1.
Okay, yeah, and they combined it into kind of like a little movie.
And so I've seen that. Yeah. I did enjoy the characters. It's kind of cool. They taken some of the McQuarrie art.
Yes.
For some of the characters and kind of weave that in.
That's
which
right.
Is pretty
You brought
cool.
that to my attention. That's really cool.
So some of that old kind of original McQuarrie art that was done, pre-production of Star Wars. So sometime in the 70s, and this was brought and kind of got Fox on board for some of this big expansive universe.
That's right.
And so they've used some. I can't remember what's the Beast guy's name.
Is it Drax? Not Drax.
It's Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah,
that's another great Star Wars movie.
Great story. Yeah. I don't know why I forgot it. Zeb.
Zeb. Yeah.
That's it. There we go. Yeah.
So and this is where we're getting Kanan.
Mm-hmm. Thin lightsabers. They brought those back.
Yeah. So I'm getting the Inquisitors in there, And from what I'm seeing I've only seen the trailers, is we're going to get a look at Darth Vader.
Oh yeah. It's season 2, so he appears in there, and there's some other characters. For all you guys that saw that trailer coming up for the season premiere or winter premiere, whatever you want to call it, there's another big character that pops within the trailer, but go out there and watch it.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah. That's one thing that you always got. It's hard with this stuff because you never know how far to go when you're talking about this.
Exactly.
It's like, you want to give people just a little taste and some insight towards it. But the best part of some of the stuff is it's seeing it for the first time.
It is.
And experiencing it.
Exactly.
Like, oh my god! There's Vader. There's characters.
Yeah. And again, it's Vader done well. They execute him. He's great in this. So
awesome. So, that gives me a ton of hope for this. Hearing you talk about how well Vader's done, how they're kind of elaborating on a story, and and really bringing in that Vader that we all wanted.
Yes, exactly.
It's like they really. Sometimes I wish that they brought Vader in like episode 2 or something like that. And we got to experience a whole movie of him like kind of struggling and just just being this the menacing villain that he is, and kind of you see him in A New Hope a bit, and
that's just. I think you and I agreed too, and we said with the whole prequels. I don't want to go on a prequel rant, but if we just started Phantom Menace with a young Anakin, teenage, not an 8-year-old boy, then episode 2, he's a young adult, and then episode 3 we have a full out Vader.
Yeah,
I think that would have been a win-win. So.
Yeah, I think that would have. I think developed the character a bit more as what people kind of were hoping for. I don't hate what we got, but it would have been nicer to see some of this Vader stuff fleshed out. But it's good to hear that they're spending a lot of time in this era.
Yeah, they really are. They really are now. It's great. I have to give credit. It's Dave Filoni, I believe. He does. He did Clone Wars, so he was the major producer on Clone Wars, and he also does Rebels. So he's really good at bridging the gap for everything. And Simon Kinberg as well, who's. He does X-Men. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So he's on board with Rebels. So it's a great team. Really great team.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Following that, we got Rogue One.
Yes.
So, we haven't seen much from this movie. Last week when Sanjay and I did our most anticipated 2016, I had it at number 2.
Yeah.
Just behind Civil War. Mm-hmm. Where are you putting this for your 2016
as far as rankings? If you ask me tomorrow, it might be number 1, and if you ask me today, it's number 2. It keeps going back and forth. Yeah. I have Batman v Superman as my number 1. Yeah. I'm really excited for that. We all wanted this. We've all been wanting to see Batman versus Superman. All you guys out there that had the action figures, I'm sure you made them fight a couple times. So. Really looking forward to that, but I'm gonna have to go.
What do you think of it? Have you been watching the TV spots they're dropping for Batman vs Superman?
Yes, I saw the most recent one when we get to see why he drops that line. Do you bleed?
Yeah,
and I liked it. It definitely redeems itself from that trailer 2 with Doomsday, which was just. Not my cup of tea, we'll say.
No, right? And we've talked about it before. I've erred on the side that they showed way too much.
They showed way too much. Yeah. They showed way too much, and I think they could have gave the audience a little more credit. Like we all knew, Batman and Superman are going to shake hands eventually and team up. Yeah, we didn't need to see the villain. No.
But at the same time, that voice modulator he's on.
Yes.
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm glad they fixed that. Yeah. From other incarnations of kind of. The deep, voice, and
the Bale voice, and when I heard the news that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman, I was totally on board. I love it. I love the casting.
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck's about a good 6'2", 6'3". He's a brooding Batman. I think the guy even has a Batcave in his house. If you look it up,
really?
He actually built it. He's a big Batman fan, so he's going to do the character justice. I believe.
Well, I guess that's why he took the Daredevil role too, because he thought he was never going to get to play Batman.
Exactly.
Here we are.
Look at this.
He's had one hell of a career. Right? Yeah. It's like these big ebbs and flows. Like he's on everyone's good books, and then he made a couple really crappy movies, and now he's like this awesome director.
Yeah.
Self-respect. He's Batman, probably forever now.
Forever, yeah.
And his solo series. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's good times. Definitely.
Yeah. I wish there was a really good segue to bring back to Star Wars.
Going back to Star Wars. Ben Affleck just then he's cast to be Luke Skywalker in the next Star Wars film.
Young Han Solo. They're gonna just de-age him, right? Rogue One sitting up there for both of us is kind of most anticipated.
Definitely.
Like I said before, it's going to be fun to see what they do in a different kind of era without Skywalkers or Solos.
There's no Jedi, at least kind of at this point. It's just going to be ruled by Palpatine and Vader. It'll be interesting to see who they have play Palpatine or how they'll go.
Yeah, do you think that they might go cloaky?
Yeah.
And, just have him like they did have him in kind of the original cut of Empire and that, where you don't see his face, really.
Shadow,
you can see his eyes, I guess, a bit, but... So maybe they'll go that route. Right. And Vader's pretty easy. I wonder if Hayden Christensen, it'd be interesting to see, because they could do scenes where they pop off his helmet.
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, it would be interesting to see, especially with the director they have doing this. I think he could get some good lines out of Hayden this time around.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't.
Well, someone that if they had someone that could maybe direct the actors a bit more, because
exactly.
J.J. Abrams showed that you can get a lot of good stuff. Even with some, hammy lines that you're getting.
Exactly.
He got a lot of great stuff out of Harrison Ford in Force Awakens.
Yeah, because that's a good point. JJ he's an actor's director, right? Yeah. He brings out the lines out of it. Whereas George is kind of just like, just play with it. Here's your lines and just do what you want. But he's not really guiding them, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of JJ, I totally forgot about that 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What a trailer. Was it a teaser? Was it a trailer?
I don't know. We got John Goodman in a bunker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Lost. It's the sequel to Lost. For all you guys that watch Lost out there.
Oh my god! I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
the bunker,
the music, right? I was just like, Lost. This is awesome.
Oh man,
this is awesome.
Somehow, I don't know who directed it, but I guess he produced it.
Yeah,
and they somehow did it and then snuck out a trailer.
Yeah,
without anyone knowing.
Exactly.
So I guess it's alluding to that sitting in some sort of similar universe to the original
Cloverfield. Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's going to be one of these found footage kind of movies. So it'd be interesting to see what they do, because they kind of give you an idea that, I don't know if it's a virus or is it monsters or what's going on outside, but it was kind of a good little teaser trailer.
It is. I can't remember where I heard it from. You told me about the trailer in the first place, so I was stoked, but I can't remember where I heard it. The monster or whatever the character is in this is like a sister or related somehow to the original Cloverfield.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure what it looks like or what's going on, why we're living underground, because I'm taking we're underground now. So
yeah, because I remember when the first trailer hit for Cloverfield.
Oh yeah.
And it was the Statue of Liberty's head. They got chucked down in the middle of New York, Times Square. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Actually, I enjoyed that movie.
I liked it.
The whole found footage thing I like.
Yeah, that actually worked. I'd say Chronicle and Cloverfield, the found footage worked.
Chronicle is unreal.
Chronicle is great.
Because I mentioned before, but I went back and rewatched that after I watched Fantastic Four on 2 separate plane rides. And I love that movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah, I've seen it twice. Josh Trank and screenwriter Max Landis. Off topic here, but Max Landis is writing the current American Alien comic book. It's a short series, but it's on Superman, and he's writing it. So for all you Max Landis fans out there, it's a great series. But sorry, taking it back to Cloverfield there. Awesome.
Yeah, it's looking good. So
it's looking good.
J.J. Abrams, man, he continues to pump out material that keeps us guessing.
Keeps us guessing. And I guess having a little movie like Star Wars kind of hid Cloverfield over here for us. This little movie.
Yeah, everyone thought he was working on this forever. I just popped out this, 2 months after Force Awakens is out. Oh, man. I haven't even looked. Has Force Awakens, is it creeping up on 900 million?
That's a good question. I haven't looked. I know box office hits right now, Ride Along 2 did beat.
Oh, okay, it did. Okay, last weekend.
Yeah.
So it finally took it out over a weekend.
It did. It finally took it out. It had a great run. I guess
awesome. 850 million plus is all right.
Yeah.
Domestically.
Yeah, small change.
Okay, so that was a massive tangent, but anyways, so then we get into A New Hope, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it's great.
Love this to death. And then we kind of move into an era where we're getting the bulk of the current Marvel comics.
Yes.
So this is kind of the era they're focusing on, in between A New Hope and Empire. Mm-hmm. So we have the main Star Wars series.
Yep.
Darth Vader series.
Yes.
Both, I called them tandem books, and I gave them kind of my favorite books of 2015.
They're great.
Oh, man, they're unreal. Great. And we just finished Vader Down.
Oh, just finished it about a half hour before I got here.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So good. Yeah. It's, this beautifully done 6-issue crossover series. So there's kind of you get one main Vader Down book.
Yes.
And then it's 5
crossovers.
Yeah, crossovers.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, we're spinning in and out of books I'm already getting, so that's great. So it's spinning in and out of the Star Wars and Vader books, going back and forth each issue, telling the same story as it threads through. Yeah. And just fantastic. The art is awesome.
Oh, the art, love it. Love it. I can't remember the artist. Is the writer
Jason Aaron.
Yeah, it's great.
It's basically, quickly the premise of it, I won't give away the whole thing, as we're going through the Star Wars, and particularly the Vader book, Vader is basically found out that who the pilot was that shot down the original Death Star. He finds out there's a Skywalker, and he's taken a lot of crap from the Empire, and he's basically been demoted in the Vader series for basically allowing the Death Star to be destroyed.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of been demoted, and he's kind of been relegated to answering to Taggart, I think his name is. He's one of the guys that was sitting on the original Death Star in A New Hope.
Right.
And he got off, I guess, somehow.
Yeah,
He's alive, and it's canon. So Vader's kind of answering to him. There's kind of these other cloned, kind of weird cyborg
implants
Jedis.
And all that. Yep.
And so
that's robot implants. Sorry.
Yeah.
just to be clear there.
Droid implants?
Yeah, droid implants. Sounds right.
And so they're all kind of competing to essentially find the pilot that basically destroyed the Death Star. But Vader's essentially spun out, and he's kind of taken upon himself to have these secret missions.
Yes.
And he's got, Dr. Aphra.
Yes.
And then...
like evil C3.
Yeah, what's his name? I can't remember. And there's the evil astromech droid and the evil protocol droid.
Yeah.
And they're teamed up, and they're like merciless torturers.
Yes, they love what they do.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's kind of a really neat spin. We go from R2D2 and C3PO, and then we have kind of like their double evil gang.
Absolutely,
like, it's great. And then there's like an evil Wookiee in there, bounty hunter Wookiee.
Yes, yeah.
And essentially, what's going on is Vader finally finds out where Luke is, and Luke's kind of gone off looking for some old Jedi artifacts or temple or whatever. And Vader flies into this planet and where he thinks Luke is alone, and he's met with like this big fleet or big company of X-fighters. X-wings.
Yeah.
Jeez. And that's kind of like your opening of Vader Down, and
it is.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
The whole scene is great. I won't spoil it because it's a lot of fun to watch. But essentially, what ends up happening, Vader ends up stranded on this rebel-held world, and it's basically the rebels trying to capture Vader, like an entire company of rebels trying to capture him, and and Vader's just going to town.
Oh yeah,
so powerful, and we won't spoil it, but the last shot is great.
Oh yeah, it's classic Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just Star Wars, right? Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah,
and we get all the original trilogy characters in there.
Yeah,
you've got Han, Leia, Chewie, Luke, all of them, and like I said before, highly recommend this series.
Definitely.
You need to read the Star Wars and Vader, I think.
Yeah, together. Yeah,
to get that whole feel for and to understand what's going on in Vader Down.
Yeah.
But again, it's man,
looks great, and I'm looking forward. Not really spoiling anything, but looking forward to the next issues coming out.
Yeah.
At the end of
Fallout. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So it's really good stuff. And there's also there's a Chewie series.
The Chewie series, I've heard mixed. Actually, not even mixed. I've heard kind of negative things about it.
I've got the first issue.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. They've tried this too with they're doing
Leia, right?
Well, with a character that doesn't speak.
Oh, okay.
So basically, you've always got to have someone interpreting for you. So they tried to do this with a Groot series as well at Marvel. So you always gotta have someone interpreting basically what he's saying. So sometimes it's a bit clunky the writing because you don't have that same freedom with the actual character itself to kind of be out on his own and having. I don't know if they do inner monologue stuff and they just try to translate to English or whatever.
Yeah.
But you kind of always have to have this character with someone else.
That's right.
So you don't get any kind of real true solo series. Right. I may be completely wrong. I've only read like one or two issues. Yeah. So it could get better. I don't know. Yeah. And then we have the Lando series as well.
That's right. I heard it's better. I heard it's
all right. I've read the first couple of issues. Now it's set before Empire. Okay. So it's kind of giving you a prelude story. And some origin stuff of Lando.
Cool.
Not a great. Again, I've only read an issue or two. Kind of held back on these a bit as I've been focusing on Vader Down and some other stuff, Secret Wars. So, but again, it's really great to see them focusing on kind of some of these characters. Like Lando, there's not a lot of material on, right?
Not, no.
And we get a bit of Chewie in Revenge of the Sith. But again, not a lot on his backstory. That's at least canon now.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them exploring some of these characters.
That's right.
And then we get into Empire Strikes Back.
Yes. Yes,
my favorite Star Wars film.
Yeah, it's my favorite in the original for sure. I love Empire. It's dark. I'm a sucker for not necessarily just dark movies, but that kind of tone works for me.
Yeah,
it's definitely the darkest in the bunch.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So it's something completely different.
Yeah,
it's something that people have been trying to replicate for years and years. Yeah, and not doing it always successfully.
Exactly.
And so that just tells you, the best form of telling you that you've done something right is having people try to copy you.
Exactly.
And so this is kind of my gold standard for Star Wars
movies. It's great. Best plot twist ever.
Yeah.
Like, spoilers. I'm not even going to say it, but the movie's like
everyone's
30 years plus, right? I mean...
even if you've never seen a Star Wars movie, the iconic lines, right? It's "No, I am your father." It's everyone knows that.
Everyone knows, yeah.
So yeah,
it is great, and the lightsaber battles in there, like, they stepped it up so much more as opposed to the first time we've ever seen it, right?
Nothing compared to the prequel stuff. Like some of that's insane. Those lightsaber battles.
Mustafar and Battle of the Fates with Obi-Wan and
so good.
Darth Maul. Yeah, it's incredible. But yeah, for sure, Empire. What a great movie.
Yeah. And then there's nothing, at least for now, that I'm aware of, novels or comics and that fits in between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, no, there really isn't because. Because they canceled out the Legend stuff. Because I do know they had that series, Shadows of the Empire. But obviously, that's wiped out. So without that, there,
we got nothing. Yeah. Right, and then we follow up in Return of the Jedi, and like I was saying, this really kicks off the era. Post Return of the Jedi, so the death of Vader, death of Palpatine. The real dismantling of kind of the core of the Empire in Return of the Jedi. And, going on from that, essentially, like I said, this is the era that I'm focusing on. So this is the, what they're calling, to some degree, kind of the journey to the Force Awakens stuff, or at least some of this early stuff. So we had the Shattered Empire, 4 issues sitting right there.
Awesome.
This is kind of the first thing, Journey to the Force Awakens. It was marketed as somewhat of a prelude to the Force Awakens. And I think they had a bit there. It looks like they're not allowed to touch some of the characters, right?
Yeah.
Because this really focuses on one of the Force Awakens characters, Poe's, his parents' origin story.
Exactly.
Spinning right out of the Battle of Endor, essentially. His mom fought in the Battle of Endor.
Yeah.
And his dad is kind of this commando that kind of runs around with Han and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool seeing kind of the origins of the parents of, one of my new favorite characers in the Force Awakens. So these things are awesome. They're a great way to get into.
Yeah.
And so I actually want to talk about this. You've read these, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to say spoilers here for the end of this series, and really for Poe.
Yeah.
So the last issue has Poe's mom go on a mission with Luke. So I guess in Revenge of the Sith, or kind of in that era, Palpatine took over the old Jedi Temple.
Yes.
And made the new Emperor's Palace. And I guess there was a tree or something.
Yeah.
In the Jedi, the old Jedi Temple, and that, I guess it was severed and cut off, and there's only 2 pieces of it left. Luke thought there was one, but I guess they go, and Luke essentially wants to steal this back and take it back. And they go in, and there's 2 of these trees, and I guess these trees are like embedded with the Force or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I guess they go in, there's a big battle and all that, and they eventually end up getting them back. And then what we see at the end of it is Luke says, I only need one.
Yeah.
And he gives to Poe's parents the other one. And they settle on one of the Yavin planets.
Yeah.
And the last scene is essentially them, all happy that they've, settled down, the 2 parents. And then you see the tree from the Jedi Temple just outside of their trailer.
Yeah.
So the question I got for you, do you think Poe is Force sensitive?
It's Force sensitive, yeah. I thought about it, and the more I think about it, I don't think he is. It would be cool. It'd be really interesting, but I think they're going to make Poe just this incredible human pilot.
Yeah.
This Han Solo that can fly anything, and I think they're going to keep him, I don't want to say grounded because it's the Star Wars universe, but I think they're going to keep him, I don't think he is going to be Force sensitive, but there must be some significance to
there's something there. Like, I guess
tree.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I guess you're kind of born with the Force.
You're born with the Force, and especially you'd have to think with his age, because he definitely is a little bit older than some of the other characters in the movie Force Awakens. So you would have to think him being around Leia and all that stuff that he would have.
Yeah, they would have figured it out.
Exactly, especially Luke must have encountered him a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be interesting. The only thing that ever sparked my interest in kind of going down that path is he's just... it is the Star Wars universe and stuff like that, but some of his shots that he was making, when they're battling at Mace Katana's castle over there, kind of that first battle, And he was like picking off stormtroopers
Oh,
on
yeah.
the other side of Han and Chewie.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, is there a little bit of force directing some of those blaster bullets? Or I don't know.
Yeah, so. he's definitely a hell of a pilot, right? So it'd be interesting. Me, I'm still kind of having my money a little bit on Finn if he's force sensitive or not, because he seems pretty lucky. Yeah. He got away with a lot of stuff in that movie.
Yeah,
so.
He's another one of my. I loved all.
I loved them all. What a great cast. But yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they went that route.
Yeah.
If he was force sensitive.
There's something there, though. Yeah. There's something there.
Definitely.
It'd be interesting to see if it ever gets explored. It might just be one of these quick drop lines somewhere. Yeah. And I grew up here, and there's always this force tree, and so I kind of know what's going on.
Exactly.
And it'd be cool. It just, even for kind of the fans that like kind of some of the extended universe, I guess, I don't know if that term is right anymore, but the stuff outside of the movies, It'd be cool drop for us.
No, definitely
just picking up. You see a lot of that in the Marvel movies and stuff like
that.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. It turns out the tree's actually Groot just crossing over.
So. Yeah. And then following on from the Shattered Empire, the next thing chronologically we got is the novel that was released on Force Friday.
Yes.
So Force Friday for Toronto was quite an experience.
Oh, yeah.
we went out to the Toys R Us in Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
We got there, at 8 o'clock?
Yep.
Yeah. Sat out front.
Got the chairs.
Yeah, we showed up, and stupidly enough, we both just showed up. I don't even think Troy had a jacket.
Yeah, I didn't. Freezing.
And so we just kind of showed up, and we're like, I guess we probably should have brought something for 4 hours. So it's like, I don't know, Canadian Tire's down the street. So I booked it down. I grabbed the pack of water, I grabbed some lawn chairs, and then we sat, and it was great. Though. It was
a great time.
There's a couple guys in front of us, a couple guys behind us, and we just shot the shit about Star Wars for
hours.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was one of those things, and the whole experience of they open the doors, everyone's kind of nice and politely Canadian, kind of speed walking, and then you get to this aisle that's like a foot and a half wide. Everyone's ducking
Turns into Black Friday in the States.
Exactly. It was pretty mental, but we ended up walking out with and I'm looking at them right over there.
Oh yeah,
the Kylo Ren and the First Order Stormtrooper.
Yeah,
and awesome. I've yet to see a First Order Stormtrooper in the Black Series again.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm kicking myself for not doing it because I did Finn and Kylo.
Yeah,
and I see Finn everywhere.
Yeah, Finn is a peg everywhere. Yeah. But to be fair, he's a popular character. But to be fair, I think he's taste packed. He's in wave 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I've seen so many of them.
Wow,
I think, and I think he's double packed in wave 1 as well.
Wow. Okay. Well, that explains a lot.
You're seeing he's at least in the first 2 waves. I'm not sure about the third.
That explains a lot.
But I'm having a heck of a time finding wave 2 here in Canada. All I've got is Constable Zuvio and Poe Dameron.
Yeah, all I got is Poe.
Yeah,
out of that one. Yeah, it's crazy.
And speaking of Constable Zuvio, he's not in the movie.
No,
I have a 3 3/4-inch action figure of him. I have a 6-inch action figure of him.
Yeah,
I'm sure at some point I'm gonna buy a Funko Pop of him.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
But he's not in the movie. I've tried Googling it, and I think other people have the same question.
Yeah.
Where is Constable Zuvio? I'm assuming he's supposed to be on Jakku.
Yeah, you think so?
So.
Unless he's in a concept art book somewhere.
Well, there's set photos of him,
right?
And so I don't know if it's cut. So maybe a Blu-ray will get some cutscenes or something.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well,
don't know. Zuvio.
Crazy.
Anyways, Aftermath. That was the first novel coming out. So that came out Force Friday.
Yeah.
And this is the first novel that I listened to on Audible, the audio. And what an experience! You're saying with Lords of the Sith, the different character voices, the sound effects, all that. This is a fantastic listen. And the one thing that kind of shocked me about this book was that I thought it was really going to focus on the original trilogy cast, because this kind of is right after the Battle of Endor. So essentially, you have the Empire reeling, and what there is there's this planet Akiva. There's essentially this emergency summit of, I guess, some of the remnants of the Empire, some of the main admirals, and one of the Moths, and some of the other generals in that. Some of them that are controlling the Navy fleets in that, and so they're all meeting. So one of them has a Super Star Destroyer and all that, and so they all kind of have these hidden fleets tucked away, and they're meeting to decide essentially what happens, who goes in charge. Is it a council? Do we elect another emperor, sort of thing?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it's about, based around kind of this secret summit. And you get, this really isn't spoiling much, but spoilers if you don't want to hear anything about the book.
Yeah.
And you get Wedge, who's doing some reconnaissance Wedge Antilles from the original trilogy, doing some reconnaissance around the Outer Rim, and he stumbles upon this blockade, and he ends up getting captured.
Oh.
And then you get introduced kind of to this new kind of misfit group that eventually kind of ends up teaming up to kind of go at this summit and save Wedge and notify the Republic, or the New Republic,
right,
that this summit's occurring, and this some very high level former emperor or empire, I guess kind of the new old empire figures in there.
Okay.
So it's really cool. And the difficult part was I was expecting another Thrawn trilogy,
right?
I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get this, but it's very different.
Yeah.
It focuses, you get these really cool interludes actually, which I think are meant to give you an idea of what's happening throughout the universe on the different planets. So we see Kashyyyk, what's happening on the Wookiee planet.
Cool.
Kind of liberation of Kashyyyk. Get some insight what's going on in Tatooine with the power void with the death of Jabba.
Right.
Some stuff on Bespin. And these are only like on the audiobook. These are only like 5-minute interludes. So it's kind of just giving you a little bit of insight into all the different places in the galaxy as far as what's going on after the fall of the Empire.
Cool, how they've all been affected.
Yeah.
Affected by that. Okay,
and kind of see
great.
these big kind of vacuums created, power vacuums created because of the death of so many major villains in the universe.
Oh yeah.
So it's really cool.
That's
and comparatively, the Thrawn trilogy is on another level. But again, we're just maybe seeing a small corner of the remnant empire, and maybe in the future books. So this, I guess, is meant to be a trilogy of books.
Right.
And we're going to get the subsequent novels out in 2016 and 2017.
Oh, so the annual then, eh?
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's going to be pretty cool. I think the next one comes out in July.
Okay.
And then there's no real announced date, but there's 2017 when we get kind of the final. So there's Aftermath Life Debt and Aftermath Empire's End.
So is there a central character they follow, or is it like a group of ragtags they kind of follow throughout?
There's kind of this former rebel that they're following, her son. There's a bounty hunter, an old Imperial officer that's kind of basically declared himself not part of the Empire anymore.
Oh, okay.
And so this group, I'm not sure if this group's going to actually, you're going to see them follow them through the whole series or not. Mm-hmm. But I won't give away any of the ending or stuff like that. But it'd be interesting. So I really grew attached to some of these characters. Yeah. And I feel like the audiobook did a lot more justice than I could have done in my head. Yeah. Especially with all the different characters. Some of the names are difficult to pronounce, planet names. And so I find that the audios are great for that.
They are, because Star Wars is full of crazy names.
Yeah, stuff you cannot see or cannot say.
Yeah.
And then following on for that, so we're getting towards the end here of what we're getting as far as novels and comics, but there's going to be a one-shot C-3PO.
Yes.
Going to describe how he got his red arm in The Force Awakens. So that's coming out in February, end of February.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. Just a one-shot.
Just a one-shot. It's nice. You don't get those often, one-shots. It's kind of nice to just get a little story and be done with it.
Yeah, it'd be nice for them to do a bit more of that. Maybe for some of the side characters that they're not really going to explore that much.
Yeah.
Some of the new ones that were introduced in The Force Awakens in particular. Some stuff from the Guavian guards or whatever they are. And some other minor characters that, it'd be nice to explore them in a bit more detail. But just in a one-shot. I don't need a whole ongoing, or I don't need even a whole 5 or 6 issue miniseries. Just, one shot gives a little more depth and insight into some of these characters. It'd be pretty cool.
Like a one-shot Maz Kanata, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
See where she found the lightsaber.
I think she's going to be way more. So I guess there was a cut scene
where she actually bring this up to you. Yes,
where she actually ends up back with the Resistance.
Oh, okay, that's the cutscene you're talking about. Okay, there's a cutscene I heard that they edited, they shot it and filmed it, and they took it out of Force Awakens. Are we in spoiler? I mean, it's a cutout scene. So
we'll say spoilers, but yeah.
Spoiler. So basically, I guess supposedly she uses the Force in the scene where she pushes down a wall and brings it down on some stormtroopers to make way for them. So supposedly they cut that out because she's not a Jedi, but she does say she knows the Force. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I could totally see that happening.
Oh, that's bad. I didn't never heard that.
Yeah, I actually found that out today. So that'd be interesting to see if in the Blu-ray if we get to see that scene.
Oh, that'd be great. Because I know, and on top of that, like I was saying, that there's a cut scene where she actually goes back and has some dialogue with Leia. Because you remember in the trailer, there's that picture of someone handing, and it turns out it was Leia, the lightsaber.
Yes.
That's part of that whole scene. Oh. So I don't know how, they must have shot something different, and then maybe Leia gave the lightsaber back to Finn.
Right. Yeah.
So, but anyways, I guess that was all yanked.
Right.
But, so I think she is a lot more, because the actress that got her is fantastic.
Oh yeah, she's great. She got the Oscar for 12 years, didn't she? Best Supporting. Yeah. She's great. Yeah.
So they kind of have this big actor behind her, and I got a real Yoda vibe off her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it'd be interesting, to see her either expand in the comic series. I think they're going to do a lot more with her in episode 8. I think we're going to see her kind of as a common thread again through the series.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So
interesting to see.
Yep, and then we got Bloodline.
Yes.
So that's kind of the last novel here. So this is set 6 years prior to The Force Awakens.
Awesome.
So I'm hoping in this we get some insight into the rise of the First Order.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the Resistance too.
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah, but a title like that, Bloodlines.
Yeah. New Republic Bloodlines. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, whether it's Kylo Ren, what's going on with him?
The Knights of Ren and stuff like that. Oh.
There's so much. What a title, Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Yeah, so that drops in March, so that's not too far off.
Nice.
So we got to make sure that we're all caught up.
Oh, yeah,
Our books.
Yeah, I got about 10 chapters left to go here in Lost Stars. So whenever I'm done that,
So just after you're done this, you're just gonna go drive around for 2
drive
hours.
around. Yeah, I still about going to Edmonton. Coming back down
and back.
Yeah.
And then there's a few kind of young readers novels that I haven't read. I actually saw one the other day. I should have grabbed it. Called Before the Awakening.
Right.
It's an anthology, a series of books, I guess, that describes a bit of Rey's, Finn's, and Poe's stories.
Right, I saw that.
I don't know in how much detail they go into. I don't know if they go back to childhood or whatever, but I guess it's an interesting read. Again, expanding on some of these new protagonists that we have in the Star Wars universe. So might be something to grab. I'll probably end up grabbing it here soon.
I'm thinking so. I guess it explains a little bit about the character that we see call out Finn in the battle.
Oh, traitor.
Yeah. So I guess I can't remember his exact number because he's like FN or he's N something. But you get to see a little bit about those two. So looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, because he's become basically a fan favorite.
He's become a fan favorite. He's become bigger than Captain Phasma, I'd say, which should have been her.
Exactly.
In that scene.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have been Phasma in there. Because this guy's blown. This guy's the new Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, he's everywhere. There's beams of this guy. There's gifts. He's all over the place. He's kicking off. So
he'll end up as a hot toy for sure.
Absolutely,
like a $200-$300 hot toy.
And speaking of these hot toys, the Finn that I saw looks just incredible. These hot toys.
Are you jumping into them?
If I get into the hot toys, I'm probably have to drop my comics. I'm probably have to show off my figures.
Yeah.
But the Finn I saw, the Darth Vader. I think there's a new Darth Vader coming out. And Luke from A New Hope, with a white tonic or tunic, just looks great.
Good, yeah. I'd love to get my hands on some of these hot toys, but like you said, like looking around the room here, man, I've got between Lego and action figures and Funko Pop and comics and all, it was just way too much.
It's just too much.
And there's some people that I know on other podcasts and stuff like that that exclusively collect these things. But like at a time, especially on The Force Awakens, you're forking out $200-$300. And you've got, Stormtroopers, Phasma, Kylo Ren, Finn, so many characters. So many. Like, I don't know how you even do it. Like, you have to be almost exclusively collecting these.
Exactly.
Some of them are just gorgeous.
They're incredible looking. Just the best looking figures. I've seen a lot of things try and come close, but they just can't. They just can't cut it.
No, I guess that's why you pay the money for them, right?
That's why you pay the money for them. Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. Yeah. And I guess, really the last thing chronologically that we have, and it was just announced a couple of days ago, is a Poe Dameron comic. I think it's an ongoing.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a mini-series.
Cool.
I don't know much about it.
Right.
It is dropping in April.
Do you know if it takes place before or after?
I don't know.
Sure, right?
For the one article I read on the internet says it'll center around Poe Dameron. So I don't know if it's going to be before or after. I'm going to guess maybe just before.
Yeah.
But I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, that would make sense to me because then we can maybe see why and how he leads up with the Max von Sydow character, the old guy.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're probably not going to get much unless we get in flashbacks. But as far as his story goes, because the movies going forward are really going to focus on the Skywalker and the Solos, right? So it might be nice to go back and see why. Poe, his training maybe a bit, why he's so high regarded in the Resistance, how he gets into the Resistance, right. And even tying back to Shattered Empire series, some more stuff about this Force tree or whatever it's called, what happened to his parents.
Yeah, there's no talk about them, right?
So it'd be interesting. So maybe it'd be cool if it explored kind of that end of Poe Dameron. So
absolutely, yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
But well, that kind of brings us to an end here. it's exciting to see all this stuff. And as we kind of talked about at the top, it's really great that, it's unfortunate that they basically rebranded and erased all the canon and continuity that we had in EU. But at the same time, kind of putting a positive spin on it, we're now having the opportunity to not only bring in a whole new generation of writers, probably a lot of writers that were fans of the series growing up.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams, all these guys are big fans of the universe. Finn, I've seen interviews, and this guy loves the universe. Right?
So the actors, the comic writers, the novel writers. So we're getting all these fans writing these stories. So a whole new generation taking shots at these. Yeah. Putting their own spin, bringing in new characters. And so it's a lot of exciting stuff kind of going forward with Star Wars. And the fact that we're kind of in on the ground floor, again, it seems, is fantastic. Yeah. And, almost nothing but good things to say about everything that's coming out. But the exception is, sometimes it would be nice if they just slow down a bit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just take a breather. But like you said, it's exciting. And the thing is we can still draw stories or take bits and pieces from those stories and put them in these movies, such as Ben Solo, things like that. I guess he wasn't technically Ben Solo in the other universe. He was Ben Skywalker, I think.
Because it was Anakin. Or was it Anakin Solo?
Yeah, there was an Anakin and there was a Ben. But, you can still tell that, they're taking bits and nods from those books and putting them in there, and it's totally open to do so. Yeah. So I got no complaints. The books will always be there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So kind of going off the idea of the EU that used to have the Solo twins. Yeah. Who do you think Rey is?
Yeah, that's my answer changes every day. That is so hard. It's so hard. I've heard some good theories out there. I've heard she could be reincarnated. I've heard she could be a clone. She could be the obvious one, Luke's daughter, right?
Solo, a Kenobi.
Exactly. It is interesting. I did hear one, and sorry I can't source who it is, but they did say it makes sense that Rey is Luke's daughter, because if you think about it this way, Anakin brought balance to the Force by having twins, and when those twins, one twin had a dark side son, and then the other twin had a light side Jedi. Yeah, Rey. So that's kind of like the balance right there.
Okay, yeah.
So
that's cool.
There's little interesting ways to look at it, but I couldn't tell you. I don't even know if the writers themselves know.
No, that'd be like one of those threads that they're kind of like, maybe we'll see what goes on.
Yeah, we'll let these guys play around for a bit.
I agree. I think she, the obvious is Luke, and maybe they will go obvious, and maybe they won't. Right. But yeah, I think she's a Skywalker. Yeah. They really pull at the idea that she's a Solo. Yeah. Just kind of her relationship with Han Solo. Yeah. I think that relationship and why he's offering a job, my interpretation is that that's his guilt showing through. I think that maybe he was the one that dropped Rey off on Jakku and left her. Right. So Luke basically, they pulled kind of what they did at the end of Revenge of the Sith is they took the children and hid. Right. And so they put her away, exiled her. Maybe this Max von Sydow character was the
Obi-Wan looking over,
watching
exactly,
her, right?
On the same planet.
And so that's kind of how I'm seeing it is, maybe she was dropped there, left abandoned. Yeah. Because she constantly refers back to, my parents are coming back. Exactly. But then in that flashback, you get her basically being dropped off and dragged off. So someone's just said, here, take her. Exactly. We're gone. And then they're out. And so I think as the Knights of Ren were slaughtering the Jedi Academy, someone took her, hid her away, because Kylo seems quite invested
in this girl.
Yeah. And he's constantly, what do you mean there's a girl? Exactly. And that sort of thing. So that's kind of what I'm saying, and that's why I think that Max von Sydow character is important. Yes. He's not just some kind of random throwaway character. I think he, I know he's not alive anymore. Yeah. Because Kylo Ren seems to know him. Yep. And he seems to have gone right for him. So maybe he was, chasing this Max von Sydow character. Maybe that's why he has that piece of the map. Exactly, yeah. There's something more to that character, and I think maybe that will be
because they know each other too. Because Max von Sydow's character says you weren't always like this. You weren't born on this side. Or something
he refers to he knows who his parents are.
Exactly. So and he refers to Princess Leia as a princess as royalty. She'll always be royalty. Yeah. So he's been around.
Yeah, long enough. Been around. And so, it'd be interesting to see that character explored a bit more. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see, a novel or a comic or something popping up. Or they may keep that specifically for in the movies itself, maybe in flashbacks and stuff like that. But I really think that's the direction they're going with that and with Rey.
When do you think they'll reveal Episode 8 or Episode 9 they're going to drop Rey's backstory?
I think they have to drop her backstory sometime in episode 8.
I think so too. Yeah.
Episode 9 has to be kind of the culmination of this story.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can wait around because you don't want to have. They're probably. I'm going to guess they're going to kind of Empire Strike Back you in episode 8.
Yeah.
With some big huge cliffhanger and leaving everyone in a very dark position.
Yeah. Finn gets frozen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, they can't go down that path. Imagine that.
Oh my gosh.
Fits in carbonate. And if they pull off the I love you, I know stuff, oh man. So I don't think they're going to go that far. But you never know.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be episode 8 reveal and then the episode 9. I really hope they don't do a redemption story for Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I really hope so. I hope they don't do that.
Yeah. It's really hard to come back from murdering your father in cold blood.
Exactly. And if they were to do that, then as much as I don't want to do it, but if they had to do that, then I'd really want to see Rey go full out dark. Then I'd really want her to go the opposite.
Yeah, because that's another fan theory, right?
Right.
Is that he's being pulled towards light, maybe she's being pulled towards the dark.
Yeah.
And without any training, maybe that's the big twist. They end up flipping.
Yeah. Exactly.
How crazy would that be?
That would be crazy. Not only is she a female, but she's like this Sith and just badass. That would be
like super powerful at that too,
super powerful, right? Yeah. So that'd be pretty. There's so many possibilities, so many theories, right?
Yeah.
So
it's great stuff. And we're gonna have another basically 2 years to think about this.
But at least we get one every year, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Rogue One's just around the corner, right?
Fill that void. And, with this Poe Dameron series, the C-3PO one shot. Maybe like we were saying, we'll get some more one shots to kind of fill that void and feed kind of the fire that is us trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And again with some of these novels too, we're gonna get a lot more insight into the First Order and that. So like we said, ton of exciting stuff.
Oh yes,
coming down the pipe here, and it's a great time again.
Yeah, all you can eat. It's like a big buffet. You just keep eating all this stuff. It's great.
Pick and choose, but you can get overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly.
Your eyes are bigger than your stomach sometimes. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, hope we can do this again soon.
Absolutely.
Very soon. We got some franchise reviews coming up, and maybe some. Maybe we'll have you back on for the Daredevil series review.
Cool.
And see what we can do in the future here. So we'll be back next week with another episode of the Nerd Room. I haven't quite decided what we're going to do, but make sure to check out that Cap series special, and then the Batman vs Superman, because they're dropping a new Suicide Squad trailer.
Yes.
Did you see the new Suicide Squad poster?
No.
Oh man.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
As soon as we're done here, you gotta go check it out.
Awesome.
Like
okay.
I'm really looking forward to that movie,
wicked.
and the poster is sick.
Oh, nice. It's gonna be here in no time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Amongst all the other posters. So, anyways, all right, man. Well, again, been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, everyone. For the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
Thanks for entering the Nerd Room. Don't forget to subscribe and rate and review us on iTunes. You can find our hosts, Tim and Sanjay, on Twitter at the NerdRM and 1912 Podcasting. You can also email us at thenerdrm@gmail.com and 1912entertainment@gmail.com.